All right, so it has been raining, or it will be raining, or something soon. But at this second, I'm barely feeling droplets. So, okay. And I have, I think, all 4 cats with me. Pansy. Pansy is not supposed to be this far from the house. Makes me nervous. Because she, of course, has a heart murmur, and she's 17, and too much death in my life lately. And Perry has to get his teeth done, and I hate that because the reason I have Perry is because the cat I had before him had dental work done and actually died at the vet. That was my cat Forrest before my kid came along and had me name all my other cats starting with a P. And Forrest was actually the one that made me think maybe I need to have a kid, because I kept trying to teach him his body parts. It was ridiculous, sad, pathetic, single woman going, show me your tummy, until he'd flop himself over on his back. And I was like, trying to teach my cat the name for his body parts. How about we get a clue about that? Maybe it's time to, have a real baby. Anyway, work situation is absolutely freaking insane. Here's what's going on with my work situation. Basically, nobody wants to work. I've been hearing this, and I'm like, this is bullshit for quite some time, but it seems to have hit, a limit at my job. What's actually happened is my supervisor applied for another job. And actually, there's a part of me that's like, I can't believe I did this. And then there's another part of me that's like, I can't believe I did this. She applied for a job. She asked me to be her, a reference. And the guy called me, and it was almost like I was doing the interview. It was 25 minutes I was on the phone with this guy, singing her praises, and of course she got the job. And basically, since she is left, so she's a supervisor, she's like the buffer between the department manager, who is truly from hell, who had also given notice. But anyway, as soon as the supervisor said, I'm out, basically 75% of everybody else said, done, I'm out, because they don't want to deal directly with the manager. And now the manager is rescinding, or waffling on rescinding the resignation, although apparently this is something she's been doing. Anyway, because as a company, we tolerate her outbursts. In other words, she's got a reputation for throwing tantrums, and she can't get hired anywhere else. Here comes Poppy. Here's my boy. There he is. Meowing at me. Telling me to hurry up and get on with this walk. Anyway, I don't think she can get hired anywhere else. I don't think anybody else is going to take her. She might be staying, and I might be going, because, oh my God. It's one thing to have a good supervisor leave. It's another thing to have a good supervisor leave and be stuck with somebody who's abusive. I'm too old for this shit. It's just a stupid job. It's just money. It's not like I can't do this with another company. It's not like I can't transfer to a different department and continue with the same company and more or less do the same stuff. Anyway, I'm just chilling, waiting for it, because this is the reality. When the manager realizes that everybody's left, there's nobody to do the work, I think she's going to bail at that point because, she'll be expected to do all the work. The thing is, in my experience, I know in reality, there are really good managers out there. In my experience, as a person with avoidant personality disorder, where it used to be a part of the diagnostic criteria that you were quote unquote underemployed. Ooh, there's Percy. You can't see him. I turned around and he jumped and then went completely still because, of course, he thinks he's being stealthy. That was pretty funny. Anyway, so yeah, the having absolute crap work-life situations. Okay, work situations, not work-life. This is a problem. I do not consider my work to be my life. It's still a big part of my life. It's a huge part of my life right now because there's nobody else in the company. And so, they literally need bodies and people to fill the hours. And a lot of what I've been doing is that. And I've sort of been like, okay, I was talking to somebody. I really don't want this to become so topical and so I'm sure it's going to be politicized. I don't give a crap. I'm just going to put it out there. Right now it's the middle of the Olympics, and in the United States there's this person named Simone Biles, and she is a gymnast, and she has opted not to do all the things that she signed up for in the Olympics because of mental health problems. Mental health problems that are affecting her physically. And I'm so yes about this. And damn, that is gutsy. And I know there's lots of people that think the opposite, that think, oh, what a wuss. She is just dropping out because she can't handle the pressure. And I'm like, yeah, guess what? That's awesome. It's not awesome for her, but that's awesome as Olympians are supposed to be these examples for the rest of the world. Damn, what a good example. Pansy, by the way, has turned around like she's supposed to, so she won't have a heart attack. That's good. I can't handle another death this week. Anyway, I think it's fantastic, and I'm I don't want to say I'm inspired by it. I'm more very super aware because it's been in the news that really, truly, you can say, without the way I'm doing it, I have been doing it, which is I don't drop the hammer and be sort of selfish about it, but these are the limits and these are limits and that's it. Today, actually, okay, for instance, yesterday, they were freaking out because they had 2 people that just didn't show up. So I started early and I work late. And the supervisor, the one that's really good, was pissed because I didn't stay another 2 hours past that. And I'm like, no, I'm done, I'm tapping out. And she was like, but that means that I'm under stress because, and it wasn't me, it was the first guy that called out. Sorry, it gives me flashbacks, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but it does. One of my first jobs I ever had. Do you hear him? Basically, they would call me anytime anybody called in sick, and I would come in, and I was literally told by my manager, oh, well, you're always out sick. And I'm like, no, I'm the one that covers for everybody that's out sick. I was sort of going through that yesterday. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can tell that I'm having a moment. I am having a moment. I had been under a lot of stress. Anyway, but I mean, I felt so judged. I can't even tell you how badly I felt judged by that. And it was wrong. It was 100% wrong. It was one of these things that sort of stuck in my head that, yes, I can be judged, and I can be judged on completely wrong things. I mean, this guy, that manager, when I was 18 years old, was like a freaking idiot. He was just like, sick equals me, because I was always coming in every time somebody called in sick. I was there. And I got stuck in his head as the person that was sick all the time, and I wasn't. And I've sort of been doing that with this job too, to the point where if I'm not available to cover for somebody else calling out, they're kind of getting pissy with me, and I'm like, excuse me? So tonight, I had scheduled hours, and I worked my scheduled hours. And I looked at the time. Now, I mean, I had a very bad week because of the way everything works. You know, the hours that I was not in. I mean, the first time I called in at least 6 months. Let's see. Seriously? I think the last time I called in was when I had COVID. That was March of a year ago. Other than scheduled time off, which I do quite a lot of because of all the traveling, which probably annoys people, but at least they have it in advance, as opposed to a call out. I called out the day my father died. He died at 3:30 in the afternoon. I was supposed to start working at 4. Obviously, anybody with a brain would know. And he wasn't even expected to die immediately. It was just like he's in a hospice when I informed my supervisor. And yet I actually showed up at 8 and I worked for about 45 minutes before it was like, okay, kind of the same as this Olympian. You know, she has this thing that makes it impossible for her to land correctly when she's doing her flips. Which means, one, she would be terribly injured herself, but also guaranteed loss. You know, which is bad for the team. Well, this is the way I was thinking. I gave it a shot. I tried it. And I was so distracted, I really sucked at my job. And so I only worked for 45 minutes, but I mean, even without that, I basically worked... Where'd the cat go? I don't know. All of a sudden he stopped meowing and there he is. Okay. Anyway, same thing, you know. I mean, I was just friggin' messed up in the head. And so my working sucked. But like tonight, I was scheduled for 6 hours and I worked for 6 hours and that was it. And they were kind of pissy, but I have to stand up for myself. I have to say, listen, I can't. And tomorrow, right now, I'm scheduled off. And it's amazing. Of course, I have to go help my son, whatever. You know that's going to be my lifelong thing. That's fine, you know. I mean, if God is good... Okay, wait, I don't usually do religion. I don't mean that... now I'm really going to annoy people. I don't mean that as like a religious thing, because again, avoidant personality disorder, you get that diagnosis, the first thing they say is, okay, well, you're not really religiously affiliated or whatever. You have no religious affiliation. Make my mouth work. Because most don't. And it's a long story. I lost my religion in the 10th grade, and I'd had it force-fed 10th grade, and I was 10 years old. In the 4th grade, I had it forced down my throat, and it was forcibly removed from my throat. Anyway, for cause. Anyway, not getting into that either. But another letdown. Let's just put it that way. Another letdown. This is a lifelong thing, all these letdowns. And I'm getting way off track. But anyway, as of right now, I don't work tomorrow, and I'm not going to work tomorrow, and I'm going to try not to work tomorrow. I will. Cat, don't go down there. He always goes down there. This is where the ghost is supposed to be, by the way. I hear nothing. We used to walk all the way up there, but lately we only stop here. And the cat is meowing like crazy. Pansy was meowing like crazy earlier. Ghost? Nothing? I don't know, it's sprinkling. I think we should go back, cat. So, that's the update. I think I have tomorrow off. And I'm going to try really hard to have tomorrow off. Again, tomorrow off means go clean my kid's house, because basically that's what he needs house with. Because, you know, he's a teenager. I mean, yeah, it's difficult for teenagers. Do you see the cat? Nope, kinda. Anyway, and then there's the deal with my father. So, one of the reasons I'm having such a hard time is because I kept getting calls like every day from the funeral home. And it's so annoying. They would call at like, I don't know, before 9 o'clock, and then they would be like, okay, and we don't have an appointment today until 3:30. I'm like, well, why did you call this early then? Because, of course, I work into the night. I usually work until about 2 in the morning. Tonight I stopped early. And now I'm like, oh my God, it's raining, and I'm going to get rained on. And I got my cat out here, and I need to get going. Anyway, it's really starting to go. I'm going to step it up. Okay, so the next issue is my sister. Right now, everything that I can do as far as my father is done. I have his ashes. I've got about a month leeway before I have to make decisions about his urn and all this other crap. Basically, all the bones, oh, that's terrible. All the bones are in place. Oh, good, he's following me. And, it's just the details that need to be filled in. And I've got a little bit of leeway to do that. Now the issue is my sister. My darling sister is going to show up. She has decided I can finally see my niece. My niece is 10. I don't know. So now I keep getting text from my sister. And it appears that she's less drunk than normal. Maybe she went through rehab and I didn't know it. I don't know. Oh, good. He's coming. Okay. So that is the update. That's what's going on. The rain is picking up. So I am going to stop this video and I am going to hoof it back home because we got like almost a half a mile to go before we get home. And I think we're gonna get wet. So that's where I am. Very stressed. Very much looking forward to tomorrow. Oh, the other thing I'm doing, which is probably like, people are like, you should have done that ages ago, is that I am going through my house and getting rid of all the stuff, like all the stuff that I've been holding for both my parents and my son. Because, why? I'm not using it. I'm not going to use it. It's a waste of space. That's my next project for the next month, is empty the house and reclaim space for myself. Anyway, the rain is starting to really come down, so I'm going to end this now. Bye.